All right, the first aspect would be of industrial ships would be the miner. The first thing before you start mining is you want to survey an area. The only two mining ships that are available right now are the Orion and the Prospector. So I don't know how good the scanning is. So I would throw in specialized exploration ships or specialized scanning ships like the 315P, the Hornet Tracker, the Terrapin. These ships have detailed scanning abilities, so they can scan and survey an area and actually give you more information on what type of ores and metals and minerals stuff that you can mine, and to let you know whether it's hostile out there or not. 'Cause that's another serious aspect, especially if you own a prospector, a prospector. I'm sorry, and you're out there by yourself. The last thing you want to experience is someone sneaking up on your six, take out your ship or steal your ship and kill you in the process. And all you're trying to do is make you some money on the side. So you want to survey an area first, get your information, and then choose which ship you want. Of course, you have the Orion and you have the Prospector. The Orion is a massive, monster-sized ship. It is designed for long-term hard work in deep space. It's designed to stay out there for weeks, mining stuff, and also refining it. It grinds the stuff up, it refines it, and stores it in various containers. So for the long term, the Orion is top choice. If you want to go with like for a short term, for a few days maybe or a week or something, you get the Prospector, which I suspect I'm going to see a lot of in game because it's the Prospector is so much cheaper. It's a one-man ship, lower overhead, and it's a ninja, so it has a small profile, so you're able to sneak in there, do your thing, and sneak right back out. So mining takes thought. Okay, it's not cut and dry. You just don't want to just fly out there and just drill into a rock and just go because you can easily hit outgassing. There could be gas pockets inside of an asteroid or in the ground on the moon or something. And when you drill into that gas pocket, it explodes outwards with extreme amounts of pressure that can damage your ship or even destroy it. So you have to be very careful. Good surveys of the area is paramount, and you really want to think about that. It's also known that the prospector can run. I think the Orion can do the same thing. It can run unmanned, like you can set the laser and let it drill, and you can go about doing something else. I really wouldn't advise that, even though a computer could probably detect a gas pocket or even a magma chamber, because if you punch a hole into a magma chamber, you're scrambled eggs. That's it's good night, Irene, right? Um, I wouldn't advise leaving a drill unmanned. Not a good idea. It's always good to have someone there watching it at all times. And mining is a great racket. It's going to net a lot of coin for a lot of players in this game, primarily because there are going to be industrial ships that will need these ores to repair and to build. So I'm going to cover those guys in a little bit too. So mining is going to be a great racket. Just remember when you're mining, think about it. You want to think before you mine. Make sure you get good surveys. Like I said, using an exploration ship would be a good thing. Very good thing. You hire them, they can survey, they can scan, let you know what's out there, let you know who's out there, because it might be a hostile force or something. And then you can go out there with either your prospect or Orion and get the job done. So I'm going to move on to the next thing, which will be the refiner. So hang around just a second. Here I go. Okay, now we're going to go into refining. What is refining? Refining is basically taking a raw material and you're going to filter it and wash it and grind it or whatever, and you're going to make it into something that you can actually consume. You know, like fuel, metals, ores, minerals, that kind of thing. So I've talked about the Orion and the Prospector. They can both mine and refine what they mine. I didn't mean to rhyme like that, but they could do both of them. Now, you also have the Starfarer. The Starfarer is an awesome, awesome ship. I'm a proud owner of one. And the Starfarer is designed to refine gases. It can siphon gases from nebulae or certain debris fields or whatever, and it can refine this said gas into hydrogen fuel or some other kind of fuel derivative and store it, and you can also sell it. And the cool thing about the Starfarer is that it can stay in space indefinitely because it can refuel itself from the material that it refines. So the refiners make sure everybody has building material and fuel, which again makes the refiner a very lucrative career. Um, Raw materials will always be in high, high demand, and so the refiner can sell things at a premium. So if you are a Starfarer owner, whether you are a Starfarer or Starfarer Gemini owner, doesn't matter. If you're an Orion or a Prospector owner, any one of these ships can refine raw material and you can put it on the market. Or it can be recycled and used in yet another role, which is like construction, which I'm going to talk about because there's a really big ship that just showed up on the scene that really set the standard when it comes down to construction. That's the Pioneer, and we're going to talk about that next. All right, this is the game changer. This is construction. This is a very new aspect of industry. And here is the game changing ship. This is the Consolidated Outland Pioneer. This is your construction ship. This is a full blown, bona fide construction ship made to build outposts. What really intrigues me about this ship is not the land, excuse me, land claim thing. I could care less about that. I mean, everybody's fussing about that. That's a non-issue to me. But what really, really fascinates me about this ship is its ability to manufacture components and buildings for small outposts. It can also repair said buildings for these outposts. Um, that's big, really, really big. And also, it will need the resources that are farmed by the aforementioned ships, your Orions, Prospectors, and Starfarers. This ship, the Pioneer, will need those three ships to supply it with the resources needed for it to build its outposts. This is a symbiotic relationship which will foster a lot of multiplayer elements. I mean, think about it. If you have an organization who has a pioneer and they need more resources, the pioneer is basically built to stay out almost indefinitely as long as it has the resources necessary to build. So if you have an organization, right, with the pioneer and its individual members have a Starfarer, an Orion, and Prospectors. Holy cow! Think about that. You are a real bona fide organization. You could be hired by other players to fly out to said land claims and build their outposts for them. Or, heaven forbid, they're attacked, their outposts are damaged, and they can't repair them by themselves. Well, guess what? Your Pioneer can do that. That is awesome. This is humongous. So construction is going to be, of course, it's going to be lucrative. I don't own a Pioneer because I don't want to stay in one spot, but I, honestly, I couldn't see myself staying in one spot with the Pioneer. I could see myself being hired by other players to build their outpost. Or maybe there's a mission supplied in game where you have to take your Pioneer out to some remote location and build a military outpost where they set up like a garrison for infantry or something like that. So you have a remote base against a Vandal or something like that to stop a possible invasion. I mean, the possibilities for construction are nearly endless. I mean, the Pioneer is really going to set things off. And you are going to definitely want a Starfarer flying along with a Pioneer. The Starfarer will supply the Pioneer with needed fuel for power consumption, for uh, its jump drive or whatever. It's going to need raw material to build. It's going to need an Orion. I think I could see the perfect expeditionary force. What I mean by force, I don't mean by military force. This will not be a military operation. I see that like the ideal expeditionary force I see will be you will have a Starfarer. It could be a Starfarer Gemini for protection. You will have an Orion. You will have the Pioneer. You will have a couple of constellations for escort. And you can literally just go out there, mine your resources, because your Pioneer is already going to be preloaded with a set amount of resources so it can build anyway. But you're going to mine extra stuff. So you're going to have a Starfarer refining gas. You're going to have a you're going to have the Prospector and the Orion mining resources, because I think the Prospector is not a long range ship. So of course you're going to need a Starfarer, but Orion is a long range ship. So maybe you don't need the Prospector. You can use the Orion. And let's say you have your Starfarer, your Orion, your Pioneer, and maybe you have a couple of what are those? The Impov cargo ships. Yes, the little Impov cargo ships. Think about it. You have an Impov that's flying from your Pioneer that's landed to an Orion that's in orbit mining resources, or a Starfarer, and it goes up there, picks up some parcels of raw materials, and then it flies it back down planet side to your Pioneer. That's a serious, serious hustle. And once the Pioneer is finished building, it can just lift off and go someplace else and set up shop somewhere else, taking those same ships along with it. Think about the kind of, that's like a multi-billion-dollar corporation, a multi-billion-dollar interplanetary, interstellar corporation that you are running. How awesome is that? I mean, that's why I'm glad I have a Starfarer, because I can get in on some of that action, because I totally plan to get on some of that action. So that's construction, man. I mean, construction is really exciting. It's a new aspect of gameplay, and it's going to set the verse on its ear. It really is. So now I'm done with that. So I'm going to move on to this last aspect of industry, which is refining. All right. Talk about mop-up crews. Now we're talking about the salvage. We're talking about people flying in after combat, after capital wars, all that kind of stuff. We're talking about folks who are flying with the Redeemer, this humongous salvaging ship, and literally just parting out all of the totaled wrecks, breaking it down to their principal components, and then repurposing them or recycling them. So this basically is a recycler, not just a salvage ship. And this is another kind of really cool kind of a career to jump into, because you're also talking about maybe even repairing abandoned ships. So imagine you fly into a combat area and you find an abandoned Idris. I mean, it's literally it's left for dead. And according to maritime law, I mean, like in the real world, if you find something in international waters that it's technically not owned by any party, which means that you can jump in there and slap a salvage lien on that ship and sell it for parts or sell it back and pocket the money. Or you can put a salvage lien on it, and if no one claims it after a certain amount of time, it's yours. Do what you want to do with it. So you can find something out there, repair it, and put it back into service under your name. That's another really hustle, a nice little hustle there to get going. And again, the Redeemer is a resource ship, so it also produces raw materials. So it's going to like grind down stuff. It's going to yeah, basically grind down all the metals and all of the ores and metal resources and stuff. And it's going to repurpose them. It's going to recycle them, and you can literally sell the stuff back to say a pioneer or whatever for them to use for more building materials. So I mean, a Redeemer is going to be a cool career track by itself. I mean, I think basically if you just have one ship, it would have to be a Redeemer. And you could just make a living off of that, just salvaging, because there's going to be a lot of combat going on. And also, there's going to be some old relics. There are going to be some wrecks out there, some alien ships or something that you may come across, or an explorer may come across, and you can fly in and take advantage of that wreck. You can go in there and you can break down the materials, and you'll have alien tech, alien materials, alien metals, whatever, that you can use and repurpose for your fleet or whatever. So, I mean, the Redeemer will be another cool career. Salvage is very lucrative. It's lucrative in the real world. I mean, I've heard tell of people who are professional salvagers. They could easily net like 10,000 or almost $1 million off of a salvage lien. I mean, that's real deal money right there. I don't see that being too different in game. So if you got a salvage ship, or you want to be part of a salvage crew, a Redeemer can put some good credits in your pocket. So with that said, we're going to go and look at the repair aspect. So now I've talked about the salvage part. We're going to look at repair. And there's only one ship I'm going to be talking about. So stand by. All right, this is the only ship in the verse that can do what it can do. This is the Crucible. The Crucible is a flying repair platform. Its primary purpose is to repair and redeploy ships. So if you're a combat ship, combat ships are going to take a lot of damage and also incur a lot of liability. So it may be a good idea, instead of filing a new insurance claim, which will probably go up, your premium will likely increase as you keep on repairing your ship. It might be a good idea to come across one of these in your travels that can repair your ship. Now, cool thing about the Crucible is this is something I think that can do more than just repair ships. I think this ship can also probably process some raw material. I think it will. But this will also be a good ship to have in tandem with a Pioneer, with the Orion, and the Redeemer. These are really cool industrial ships. And the Crucible, it will be totally priceless when it comes down to repair and upkeep of a fleet. Even if it's not a combat fleet, you can still use it to repair, say, even the Pioneer. The Pioneer might get some damage because it might be attacked or something like that by pirates along the way, and it may run out of resources to repair itself. That's where a Crucible can come in and fix things. It can also be, of course, used in a military fleet. You will probably find one of these sitting all the way at the rear of a command fleet of a squadron, and as ships come in for damage, the Crucible repairs them and it sends them right back out. Would this be a good career track? Heck yes, because of course everybody's going to want something repaired. So your ship, your Crucible, will be totally priceless, and you're going to make a ton of UAC because they will be looking for you. And I think there will be specific missions too targeted toward this ship, where you have to go out and repair, say, an explorer vessel that's in distress. It can't, of course, explorers can't repair themselves. Even though I did hear that the that the Carrack might be able to do minor repairs to itself. It might be able to. I have to look into that. Even more so since I'm a Carrack pilot. I got to look into that. But I think that the Carrack can repair itself to a degree. However, the Crucible will be priceless. It will be a much needed ship. It'll be a great career track. If you own one of these or plan on getting one of these, uh, stand by to make some really, really good USC credits with this. I mean, you are really going to be in high demand, especially with the military. They're going to be looking for you, especially when they do these Vandal campaigns, which I'm seeing in the very near future. I think they're once the capital ships like the Javelin and the Idris, once they're in game, there's going to be a lot of damage being dealt, and they're going to need one of your ships. They're going to need a Crucible somewhere nearby that they can fly to and get repairs. So this will be a great career track. This is a non-combat career track, so I mean, I really wouldn't put this in harm's way. Again, you'll probably see one of these ships at the rear of a fleet or a squadron, and it's hanging way back there with say a Starfarer Gemini, and they'll be on standby for repair and refueling, that kind of thing. So that's pretty much it for the industrial class. I hope you guys got a good picture of which way to go in that regard. And I'm going to move on to the next aspect, which will be, I think we're going to look at the support part next for the support career. So with that being done, I'm done. I'm out of here, and I'll catch you guys later.